yesterday's papers? Who wants yesterday's girl?
Well, hello. Welcome to the latest edition of Looped In Live, presented by Methuen Family Health Center. I am your host, Tim Wood, with our new co-host. Big announcement to make. He came on for 4 hours last week, and about 3 minutes before the show, Ryan Hamilton walks into the studio and says, "Hey, you want me again?"
Hey, I'm just waiting for my salary. I might walk out because I need before we
let's roll back on that. We did 4 hours last week.
Yeah.
We ran out the Facebook clock last week.
We did.
Yeah.
So,
which apparently is 4 hours and 7 seconds. If I didn't.
And I learned something.
Yeah.
The longer you go on Facebook, the less people watch you. When people saw the 4 hour thing.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of views on the reruns.
That's dedication. That's why.
That is a huge effort.
At 4 hours, you have to put an executive summary in the posts. Yeah. Go to 20 past and watch this part. Go to give them a little guide.
It's a good point.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I will learn that for the next time. There will be no next time. but just in case.
It's funny when you say that. One of my very good friends does a bunch of podcasts for daily fantasy sports and stuff, and he put one up, and I was going to watch it, and I looked at the time, and it was 15 minutes, and I said, I don't have 15 minutes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, let alone 4 hours.
Yeah.
So yes, when we, that's a great idea. When we are switching off of topics and going long, we will put up the time markers moving forward.
Yeah, get the staff on it.
So
staff that out.
Yes, we will staff that out. Exactly, the huge staff. So, yes, Brian. This is not Eunice. It's not Eunice Zeigler. This is Ryan Hamilton. So the reason that Ryan is here, the reason that Eunice is coming on, she's coming on at 11:15, is just to discuss the upcoming Methuen Day and what you can expect. Just to hype it up.
Yep,
because
absolutely.
It's a really good thing that's going on in the community. I coming into this today, I really wanted to just focus this hour on positivity and moving forward and getting back up after bad things happen, getting back up off the mat. I think it's important for our city right now. I think it's important for us in life. I came from the schools, from the high school this morning, and just was reminded just of the amazing work that the schools are doing with mental health and with mental health awareness, and in just shepherding our kids through. I know you're not that far removed from it.
No.
Do you have any perspective on high school? See, like what I was going at was, I'm 30 years removed, 27 years removed from it. Now it's a blip on the radar in my full lifespan, and I can see it for what it was. Mm-hmm. When you are in the middle of it, not so much. It's everything. High school is everything.
Oh, yeah.
And there are an amazing amount of roadblocks and trials and tribulations, socially, academically, you name it.
Yeah.
In high school, and I was just reminded of what the schools do with and how they've adapted to society and how they have embraced mental health as an absolute key component to the full student and preparing our kids to be adults in the real world.
Yeah, looking back on it, even from like a college perspective, I mean, I'm only a junior in college, but you look at things that you thought, like you said, you hit it perfectly, were the be all end all.
Yeah.
And you look back now and they were just little blips on the radar. I
Yeah.
mean, in the grand scheme of things, and sometimes even the trials and tribulations of high school, they make you a better person. They make you go through things that you wouldn't really, that maybe you didn't go through when you were younger. You overcome those obstacles, and you get to know yourself, and you get to just appreciate the struggle and the reward you got from that struggle.
The journey.
I think. Yeah, the journey. The journey is a great
Yeah.
way to put it. And I think, I don't know, I will say I had a phenomenal group of teachers at Methuen High. I had a phenomenal class as well. I really liked the people I went to school with. There weren't, in my opinion, many egos. They were all friends. There wasn't that typical, I guess you could say, movie structure of like the haves and the have-nots in high school. I thought we were all pretty good to each other. I remember just 2 examples of it. We packed a high school basketball game against Central Catholic with probably about 500
Yeah.
students there. But then a week later we packed the school musical with the same amount of kids there.
Yep.
I mean, it was just one of those things. It really didn't matter. We just wanted to be supportive of each other, and
That pendulum has definitely swung since Lou and I were in high school in terms of there not being this ridiculous class structure of jocks and drama kids and nerds and
Right.
and outcasts, and I mean
I think the big change, when you were talking about that, the big change for me, though, my high school experience to what I think kids experience now, going by my kids, is that high school was a part of my life back then, but the family was part of it too. I think kids, the high school thing is much more separate. It's more compartmentalized. I don't think there's that interaction. I struggled throughout my kids' high school career to understand, what's going on in your world, what's going on in classes, your friends, your things like that. I think it's much more segregated now than it was when you and I were growing up.
when you say segregated,
Your school life, your high school life, and your home life. In other words, we mixed it in. It was all part and parcel. You hung out with your neighborhood friends and stuff like that. Now, I think kids go to school, they're at school, they experience school, they have that whole life, and then they come home and they have a whole different life.
would you agree with that?
Of course, I had one of the things
Yeah.
I have to put a caveat on this because my kids went to school out of district.
yeah.
So that probably contributed
So-
to that.
I found it to be kind of similar to the way you're speaking of in grammar school, because I had some friends that were older who I wouldn't see in grammar school, and then we'd come home. We had a place called the Pit. It was a big field,
Right.
And that's where we play whatever the sport was, whether it be football, baseball, lacrosse at one point, soccer, and we just play there. But
Not so much of that anymore.
No, not so much of that anymore. I mean, we'd rush home at 2:15 or whenever we got out of middle school to get our homework done by 3, so we could go out and play till 5 o'clock. And those kids, a couple of them were my age, so we kind of hung around in that social group in grammar school. But a lot of them were a couple years older and stuff like that. Maybe went to a Catholic school at that time. So it was kind of like that. It was kind of, you had your school friends who you saw at school.
School is part of your life.
Yeah, and then you had your friends who you hung out
Right.
with in the neighborhood. But once I got to high school, that kind of changed with sports, and
Yeah.
people start having cars. You're a little more accessible to friends outside. Like, I went to the
A lot
marsh.
more
like,
intermingling.
yeah, like, honestly, it was funny. It's almost like there were no kids in Methuen outside the marsh. Other than once I started getting a little older, started playing. Like, I remember I played basketball for St.
I
Monica.
mean, there are kids. There are kids on the east side.
Yeah.
There's an east side of Methuen. Wow.
Honestly, it's
then
funny like that.
I'd take a bus to school and I'd come home.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and it was in Andover, it was incredible. I mean, the school operates 20 hours a day.
And the number of
And
the number of
there's
classes,
activities
yeah,
and,
I mean,
Yeah.
and the number of activities and sports and
Yeah.
clubs.
I'm
It's,
doing 3 trips to Andover a day for whether it's band for my son or whatever my daughter was into, or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
social activities and things like
It's
that.
crazy, and especially like it's funny because whenever I'm having conversations, like having conversation with my sister last year, who's a senior in high school, and I'm a sophomore in college, and she's like, "Do you think I'll be able to handle the workload of a college student?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I do believe you will, because similar to me, like we had extracurricular activities after school. So school started at, when did school start? I think 7:15. I
Yeah.
think that's the time Methuen High starts. 7:15. It got over at 1:53. But then she did swim. I played golf. She ran track. I played track. She ran track again. I played baseball. School doesn't really end till 5, 6 o'clock.
Right.
And then you're coming home, doing a couple hours of homework, going to bed, waking up, doing it all over again. Whereas in college, it's just a totally
Yeah.
different lifestyle. I mean, if you're an athlete in college, it's probably a little similar
The
to high school.
workload's
but-
incredible.
Oh,
The high
yeah.
school workload these days is incredible.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I think it's too much in many instances.
Yeah.
And you see some adjustments being made there. Like there's one school district in the state, I think, whether it's Mass or New Hampshire, that does not have homework.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've just.
I think there's a happy medium.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I thought my kids are overloaded in Andover.
Yes.
I thought it was a little too much.
And with everything being so competitive as it is nowadays, college admission processes and stuff like that, like the pressure is on for you to take higher level courses, AP courses,
Right.
level 4 courses. It's even if necessarily they're not the best fit for you, the pressure's on to take them just so you stay competitive
Sure.
with everyone
I mean,
else.
my son took honors geometry during the summer. During
Yep.
the summer
Yeah.
to get ahead. And,
Yeah.
You keep
and-
your options open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it's tough, but I had a great experience. I enjoyed high school
And
a
it-
lot.
it reminds
and I
me-
enjoyed college a lot too.
It reminds me this the Sandlot. I just saw the Sandlot again for probably about the 84th time.
It's a great
me
movie.
small.
And I, my youngest, the first time he saw it, so that was pretty awesome. But like you said, they all, it's school over, and then everybody heads to the lot. Everybody heads
Yeah.
to the pit. You don't see that anymore. You see school's over. On the young side, with that before the cars, before
Right.
the mobility, it's go home, play Fortnite, talk to each other on Twitch or FaceTime,
Right.
and it's a different
Yeah.
it's a different world,
Yep.
and so there's more pressures that come in there too. There's more pressures that come in with adding social media into the mix, and so the schools are having to deal with that
Well,
as well.
Doesn't that worsen the main challenge of junior high school, 7th and 8th grade, and then high school, which are the social aspects? At least you had your socialization group to try to give you some skills to go into middle school and go into high school and socialize. Kids aren't developing those now
No.
because, again,
Not as much.
Not as much. There aren't the
I think there's
opportunities
a
aren't there.
renewed effort at a lower age to just focus on that socialization now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where I was going with this was I see what our kids are going through and the pressures that our kids face, and I see how they're able to rebound and how they're able to deal with their stuff, their issues, and it's like we've got issues to deal with as a city. We've got issues on a lot of different fronts. But that's not what defines us. Like the negativity, the issues that are going on. There's solutions that will come, and they may not be the right ones exactly, but it's a start, and it will lead to more solutions and more ideas. But part of the reason that we wanted to get involved in Methuen Day, just with Over Medium Media and Loop Weekly, was it's what we started the paper for in the first place, is to really highlight the positive aspects of the community, to report on the entire community, to inform folks. But I think like Methuen Day is it's a perfect example of just a time where we can kind of reconnect with this concept. Like you get in this fishbowl of all these issues going on, and we're certainly guilty of it. I'm certainly guilty of it. You get in this fishbowl of all of these different issues going on, and it feels like that's all it is. That's all there is. It's, oh my gosh, like these city council meetings and this budget stuff and all of the police stuff and now the school stuff. It can be all encompassing in our fishbowls, but the bigger picture is that there's just so many good things going on, and I think Methuen Day, which you are on the committee for, and we are about to get Eunice Zeigler into the conversation. I think it's just a chance to really highlight all the positive things in the community. But I think especially right now, this is a chance for us to just kind of hit the reset button in terms of our thought processes and where we're at and where we're headed as a city, and just to celebrate the good things that we have as a base for our community. So I want to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll get Eunice. Eunice is on the line. We'll take a quick break. Pay the sponsors. Get the sponsors word out there, and then we'll be right back with Ryan Hamilton, Eunice Zeigler, and you here on Looped In Live, presented by Methuen Family Health Center.
All right, a big shout out to the folks over at AFC Urgent Care. They've been big supporters of us since the beginning as the title sponsor of Ranger Nation Radio, and we are big fans of theirs. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitches, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza. 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details.
Back on Looped In Live, presented by Methuen Family Health Center. Family is everything. That's why it's right in the name at Methuen Family Pharmacy, where you can get pharmacy services by the Methuen community for the Methuen community. You don't have to be a patient of Methuen Family Health Center to use the pharmacy either. Drop by 147 Pelham Street in Methuen, right off exit 47 on Route 93 near the junction of Route 213, and get your medication from the friendly faces you already see in your neighborhood. Learn more at glfhc.org/pharmacy. Methuen Family Health Center, proud sponsor of Looped In Live and of Ranger Nation Radio. They support the sponsors, the Stars of the Week segment on Ranger Nation Radio and in Loop Weekly. But we're hugely appreciative of the whole crew at Methuen Family Health Center, and encourage you. You know, we work with AFC Urgent Care. We work with Methuen Family Health Center. I think they're both providing amazing services for the community, and at the same time, they're hugely involved in the community. They're not just kind of taking from, and they're taking care of the community and reaching out to the community. So huge thanks to them. So back here, Tim Wood, Ryan Hamilton, and now on the line with us, Methuen City Councilor Eunice Zeigler. How are you, Eunice?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well, very well. So, really appreciate you coming on. And you know, reason we wanted to bring you on was just to talk about Methuen Day and talk about kind of the roots of it. It's one of those ideas. I've said it on a couple weeks running now. It's one of those ideas like Shark Tank that you see on Shark Tank, and you're like, geez, why didn't I think of that? That's a good idea. And you know, it's not rocket science, but it's a lot to pull off. And you guys have taken it on. Tell me the genesis of just how this came to be.
Yeah, so Methuen Day is not the concept is not unique, right? I know there have been several members in the community who have reached out and said, I've thought about doing something like this for a number of years. It just never really got off the ground. I'm so glad that this is happening. And really, I know that over the last couple of weeks, you've touched upon why we're doing this day. So this day is to celebrate all Methuen has to offer, to really come together as a community, connect with one another, and just talk about what the community means to us, talk about our families, our history. The day is made possible through a variety of partnerships. So we took this on and as the Economic Development Committee, and saw that in order to make this a memorable event, we have to have a strong team, and we have to be very intentional about all the elements of this event. So we formed a subcommittee of the Economic Development Committee to plan the event. On that planning committee, we have representatives from the Economic Development Department, the Fire Department, the Police Department, Veteran Services, Holy Family, Dance Images, and we have the Rotary Club. We have a variety of different
community voices
from the community.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting when you put an idea out there and it's so supported. And this group of people who have joined us as the Economic Development Committee to try and put this event together is very dedicated. So we set a schedule to meet every other Wednesday at noon at City Hall and talk about all the elements. We've been meeting since June. And the event is right around the corner. So we have 8 sections of that group. So this is very detail oriented.
Shocking. Shocking.
It's when I take on anything with a team, and very, very fortunate to have such great members of the Economic Development Committee. Ryan is there. Jessica is on the committee as well.
Jessica Finicaro, yep.
Director. Yes, Jessica Finicaro and Director Bill Buckley are on the committee. And so with this team, we really honed down and said, we have a short time frame to do this, and there's a lot that we want to accomplish. So we just have to stay focused, and we've done that. The event, I'm really excited about it. I know my fellow committee members are excited about it because there's so much to the event. There is a little bit for everyone. So for entertainment, we have Maddie Ryan starting it off, Happy Hearts, a chorus from the Senior Center, the YMCA Clubhouse, Center for Performing Arts, Sierra Music, Dance Images Music Center, Methuen Karate Association, Students of the Dance Art, and Bev Eskel and Friends to close it out. So there is a little bit for everyone there. We have the dunk tank, which is going to be fun. That's really one of our only paid events of Methuen Day. I want to stress that it is a free community event.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that it's accessible to everyone. It is free. The only thing that you would pay for would be the dunk tank. We have some great candidates in the dunk tank. Jimmy McCarty starts it off at 10 o'clock. 10:30, Representative Diana DeZoglio. 11 o'clock, School Committee Woman Janet Dentali. 11:30, we have Bill Berry, the Assistant Fire Chief. 12 o'clock, Bill Bryant. 12:30, we have yourself, Tim. At 1 p.m., we have Tom Duggan. And at 1:30, to close it all out, we have Joe Solomon, the police chief. So we're hoping that people will engage in that as well. I think that's something fun to just say, I dunked, so and so.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your frustrations out and dunk somebody.
That's it.
Positive way to get your frustrations out.
For all those being dunked, I'm hoping for a warm day for you.
Yes. I've been looking ahead to the 15th day, talking to Matt Noyes, trying to get the 10 day, the 15 day. Eunice, how about vendors? You mentioned that there you need to pay in terms of the dunk tank. Are there going to be any vendors kind of sporting their wares as well?
Yes, so we have currently 40 vendors signed up. So we are at capacity. Vendor applications did close on Monday. The only vendor that I know for a fact that's going to be selling food, outside of that, food is free, is North End Deli Food Truck. They're going to be doing Crispelli's.
Oh, wow, nice.
So, for everyone who only gets Crispelli's one day a year at the feast. This will be your second day of the year, and you can get it right at home, right here in Methuen. So we're super excited to have them. That will definitely add to the event. We have, a number of different community organizations that will be represented. The Rotary Club and Exchange Club have teamed up, and they're going to be providing hot dogs. Bada Bing's is going to be providing the pizza, and they're also going to be doing a beer tent.
Oh, nice.
So that, of course, is for the adults who are coming can participate in that.
Ryan.
I knew it was coming.
Well, moving on.
Yes.
Thank you, Eunice.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we're going to have a kids corner as well. So that kids corner will have face painting, balloon twisting, a bounce house, a number of activities, including a photo booth. So they'll have a commemoration of the day as well.
Great. So I've had some folks ask just in terms of parking and what the situation will be in terms of closing that street off. What are the accommodations right now in terms of parking around Hampshire Street?
So I'm going to give that question to Ryan because he's been working on this effort very diligently.
Yes. So for parking, I can say that we will have a map.
Yep.
The map is coming out very soon. We had a map, and we just need to make a few little tweaks to it.
Yep.
Just in terms of locations that had to be changed, and actually locations that also had to be added for parking. But I can say that we will have over 300 spaces, but in between 2/10 to 3/10 of a mile of the location.
Okay.
So there will be plenty of parking, and it will be clearly detailed on a map that will be circulated so everyone can know where the parking will be. There will also be handicap parking that will be specifically detailed in that map as well. And also, if we need to go a little further, we also have the Neil Playstead, which is about a half a mile away, and which has many spaces as well. But there will be plenty of parking, which will be good.
Is that using churches, the library, businesses? Like where does that 300 come from?
So there are some businesses that have let us. There are some that have not, just due to them having to open up that day. Yeah, I can say St. Monica's. They have I believe a service. They have some sort of event going on that day. So they unfortunately were not able to. But then some businesses have let us. I can say like the VFW. They've said, absolutely, you can use our parking lot right there, which is large, which is good. And some other businesses have as well. But myself and Assistant Fire Chief Bill Barry and Bill Buckley have reached out to some local businesses, and they've been very good in terms of getting back to us really quickly. And if they haven't been able to, they're like, next year we're more than willing to if we don't have another event on this day. So everyone has been very cooperative, businesses, nonprofits throughout the community, to really get back to us and help us. And they're honestly very apologetic if they can't, but I mean, they have like. This is the first. This is the first effort. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was surprised myself, just to see how many spaces were so close. Yeah. I mean, because it's always been said like, oh, where's the parking in the downtown? There really is. So and the map will be very helpful. That should be out very soon by the end the end of this week. That's what we're hoping for. It's just we had to make those two little changes. So
in terms of the day, so I guess there'll be you outline entertainment going throughout the day. I'm really happy Maddie Ryan was able to connect with you guys. She's a huge talent, and so you've got a great lineup there in terms of entertainment. I'm looking forward to seeing who the friends are in terms of Bev Eskel, because I've been shut down a couple times, Eunice, singing "I Love Methuen" here on the show. Lou says I don't really have much of a.
I have no problem. I have no problem.
So the friends are everyone.
Yeah, everybody join in, right?
Can join in, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So it's the "I Like Methuen" song. She'll be performing, and she welcomes everyone to sing along.
She's amazing. She goes around to the schools and gets kids involved in because even
what
the song
legs
itself.
That song has had.
Right?
How long has that been around?
It's been around for a while, but I mean, and she's continued to go around to the schools and kind of use it as a history learning tool, but at the same time, just to celebrate civic pride.
Yep. I remember when I was at the Marsh, we always used to have a Memorial Day service, and just sing patriotic songs and whatnot. And it used to be grades K through 4, and the last song would always be "I Love Methuen," and she'd always be there to sing it. So, and I think she still does, if I've heard correctly.
So I'm trying to think of when the iPhone was invented. I'm just trying to come up with if any
Songs
of you
older than Ryan.
no
isn't
if
it?
any of you have video of Ryan Hamilton singing
Oh boy.
singing "I Like Methuen" at the Marsh, please contact me at Tim at loopweekly.com.
I don't believe there is such video, but
Oh, you don't know.
if it does exist, I'd like to see it.
Eunice, speak just a little bit in terms of just as the idea has kind of turned from kind of a seed into the planning, and talk a little bit just about the support that you've seen and the different. I mean, just the folks that you have on the committee. It's just such a wide swath of the community just alone on the committee, but it sounds like the vendors, the same situation.
Yeah, so definitely. We've gotten over 100 emails from community members throughout this process, either just saying they're so excited about the day or wanting more information, and vendors saying that they're so glad that we're doing this and they want to get involved. Because it's a small stretch of streets, we're not able to accommodate every vendor, so we've had to turn away about 10 vendors so far, just because we can only accommodate 40 vendors in that small stretch of street. But it's wonderful because it shows us that
It's a good problem to have.
Support.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the support to make it even bigger next year. And people will get their registrations in earlier to be included. So that's very exciting. It's very refreshing to know that if we need any information, everyone's so willing to help to get us that information. So we've had great partnerships with the health department, the police department, the fire department, in answering our questions, making sure we have all the proper forms and permitting. The school department has been immensely supportive as well in helping to identify volunteers and providing staging for our entertainment for the day. DPW has been very helpful. The recreation department has been extremely helpful. Both have lended their expertise to making sure that this event was successful, and we had everything we needed from small items like trash barrels and recycling receptacles to making sure that we have the proper street closure barricades and horses, so that we're good in that regard, and just making sure the logistics all work smoothly. So it's very clear that with every conversation that I have, and I know Ryan can speak to that as well, conversations he's had, that we have not gotten any pushback from anyone. Everyone's always really upfront and wanting to help as much as they possibly can with making sure that we have what we need. So, October 13th, 10 to 2 p.m., we hope to see as many community members as possible come out and enjoy. I know that the team that we have has worked tirelessly to make sure that it's a great event, and I'm really excited, and I hope as many people have the chance to partake in it. We have a really strong marketing team that's been working to get the word out as well. I know, thank you so much to Looped In Live, Loop Weekly, Ranger Nation, all your businesses for helping to get the word out and joining us on the media team. We also have a billboard from 495. I'm
gonna have to talk to you about this billboard and how you got on there, because that is prime real estate right there, and I've had a ton of people say, all right, so we heard about it in the paper, we heard about it on the shows, but saw the bill. Well, they're just kind of being, I think it takes a little bit in marketing 101. It takes a little bit to get the message ingrained in people's heads, and I think it's, you guys have done a good job of pounding it in, of really getting it out there, but not like oversaturating. It just always seems like a lot of people are hearing about it. And
hey, on the plus side, the revenue from the billboard's paying for the turf. So.
There's no revenue from the billboard. Let's not start rumors.
Opinions of Lou Blasi are not. He had to. Knowing Lou, he had to throw a jab in.
It was a batting practice fastball.
Yeah, sorry.
You were waiting so patiently to throw something out there. I appreciate
timing is everything, Eunice.
Yeah. So
speaking of timing,
the billboard was a collaboration between the Methuen Day Planning Committee and the Mayor's Office. So the Mayor's Office has, for community events, they have 5 free hours of advertising on that billboard. So we were able to secure those 5 hours, 5 hours per month. So we were able to secure that for Methuen Day, and they were happy to get us in contact with Out Media, which owns that or rents that billboard space
That's great.
from the city. And so that was an immense help.
So Lou brought up timing. And I think timing is really important with this. Quite honestly, I think this is a great community event. Period. But I think just it with everything that's going on and a lot of the turmoil that's going on in the community, like the timing on this could not be better right now. In refocusing folks on the bigger picture and what's really important about the community.
Most definitely. I agree. And everyone who's on the planning committee understands how important it is to put our best foot forward with this so that we're giving the community a platform to just really celebrate together in a positive light.
Yeah.
And have something, that they can look forward to. And what's even, better is 2 weeks after Methuen Day is the Fall Festival at Great Court.
Yep.
So we're going to be promoting that as well.
And right around Methuen Day, you've got Homecoming Friday night. You've got Methuen Day in the morning. You've got the friends and family open house at the high school throughout the day. So it's
going to be a day.
Lot going on and a lot of positive. And then you've got the open house at the fire department is holding the open house in conjunction, right?
In the police department.
Yes.
Yep, and the police department as well. They're holding, so we're in collaboration with both departments for the day. So we're trying to encourage families to spend the day downtown. So in a perfect Methuen Day celebration would start off with breakfast at Country Kitchen, heading up to
nice plug. Thank you.
The fire department for their open house, coming right back through the Methuen Day celebrations, going over to the police department, and then you can either go back to Country Kitchen for lunch or participate in any of the free food offerings that we have
Bada Bing
as part of Methuen Day, or go to Bada Bing's for lunch. Women can get their hair done, can get their nails done right downtown. There's just so much that even though the downtown has been, I feel overlooked for so many years, the landscape of downtown is changing.
A lot of positive things going on there. Absolutely. And my son wants to get some ukulele lessons at the guitar garage. So
yes.
if you want to get some garage some guitar, sign up for some guitar lessons. Wow.
Jack Galvin, great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great guy.
So, Ryan or Eunice, I think I got to imagine that you guys have taken on some big topics, some huge topics. You guys have faced some negativity with class and really representing the city very well, and working on solutions. I've got to imagine just seeing the effort that's come together and the community coming together with this event. It's got to be it's got to be uplifting, just in terms of why you got involved in the community in the first place. Is that fair, Ryan?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that Methuen Day and just seeing the people come out for this event and different types of people who aren't usually your same people who participate in these events, I think it shows that, we can build off of this. Like, I know Eunice said we only have so much space where we can have vendors. Well, maybe next year we can talk with people and add more space to this event. Yep. We can have other events. I mean, I could just say this past weekend, I was at the River Ruckus in Haverhill. And I know Councilor Zeigler has spent some time in Haverhill as well and seen what they put on for events and stuff like that. And just, it'd be really nice if we could have some more of those in Methuen. And I think that this committee can spearhead that. But also, it's great to see. I give the River Ruckus credit. It's put on by a group that's not involved directly with the city. Yep. And I mean, that's what I really would like to see come out of all of these events, is really that you start to see a group of everyday citizens really start taking these events and start running with them. I mean, as much as I love participating in them, and I know Councilor Zeigler, I mean, I will say, she has been very modest over this. She's really spearheading this, and Councilor Finicaro and I are definitely alongside of her, but she's spearheading this from the Economic Development Committee perspective. But to see more and more residents come into the fold and start taking these leadership opportunities and taking these positions that they have, that's what I really like to see. That's what I like to see.
Absolutely. And I think you said it. I mean, this has the makings of a great annual event.
Yep. Absolutely.
And just to see how you guys have pulled it together and run out of vendor spaces. I mean, that's awesome. It's awesome to see, and I can't wait. And we encourage the listeners, get the word out. 10 to 2, October 13th, 10 to 2 down on Hampshire Street in the downtown square. Just, it's going to be so much going on, so much so much celebration of the small businesses of the community, of the civic groups that are doing so much good for the community. A lot of fun, a lot of food. And I just think of the dunk tank lineup alone. I think there's going to be a lot of laughs.
I would agree. I would agree.
Most definitely.
Eunice, anything else that you want to get out there before we let you go? I really appreciate you coming on. You guys have full-time jobs and full-time educations, and so I appreciate you coming on during the day for this. Anything else that you want to get out there?
Just to wrap it up, I hope to see everyone at Methuen Day, even if you just have an hour. It's important that you come down to Hampshire Street and really just celebrate. The one thing I did not mention was the library is also a major partner in Methuen Day, and they are starting their Magical History Tour downtown, and it's going to go through the downtown. There's an app that you can download in order to participate in the interactive magical walking tour, and there will be guides along the way as well. And there'll be prizes and things of that nature. So we encourage.
Now, is that the
folks to
scavenger hunt
participate.
that you guys had talked about, or is that different?
So that's different.
Okay.
The scavenger hunt, I mean, it's a loose scavenger hunt. Essentially, it's just going into, the businesses downtown and just getting a sense for what they offer and sort of what that space, as part of the history tour, what that space looked like in 1920 or 1915.
Nice. And I guess they can get the app that you're talking about on the Evans Library site? Is that or be directed from there, or?
They'll be directed to download the app right at the library's vendor booth.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for doing everything that you've done to get this off the ground, and we're proud to be part of it, and really looking forward to October 13th.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
All right, Eunice. Again, huge thank you for coming on, and we will talk to you down the line. For those wondering, listen, we will have Eunice back on to talk about city council issues on another time. Same with Ryan today. Today, listen, like I said, we're talking about the positive things going on, and not that we don't all the time, but I think especially right now, this event and what it represents to the community is so important, and really appreciate the two of you guys and all the work that you and the committees put in.
Thank you.
All right, we will take a quick break here. Come back at you after the break. Wrap things up. We are only going an hour today, folks. I've had a few people saying whatever, but we are. I'm running out of money. I'm running out of patience from my wife too. So we'll wrap it up right after the break here on Looped In Live, presented by Methuen Family Health Center.
Everyone is cashing in on social media, and all marketing roads lead through social media. If you want to make a splash here in the Merrimack Valley, you need to tap in. This is where the new CEM podcast studios come in. Of course, you can spend your time, energy, and money learning how to wrangle technology to make a podcast instead of running your business. Or you can invest in telling everyone in the Merrimack Valley, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, the Seacoast, or everywhere in the world about your great business, product, service, or yourself. The CEM Podcast Studio is a local audio and video studio dedicated to the craft of podcasts. Their studios feature state-of-the-art recording and mixing equipment designed specifically to produce the best audio and video podcast. Best of all you need to worry about is your show, your business, and your brand. We do the rest. Call 978-686-9966. That's 978-686-9966 to schedule a no-obligation tour of the CEM facilities and meet with a podcast specialist. Or go to CEMpodcast.com to find out more about podcasting services. CEMpodcast.com, your window to the world.
I love talking about my man, Val Davila. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now Right in Place Insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. Need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, or visit them online at daviladefusco.com.
Back on Looped In Live, presented by Methuen Family Health Center. You heard the spot from Davila and DeFusco Insurance. They are the sponsors of our Saturday show, which we are very much looking forward to this week, MVC Gridiron Weekly. We started that. This will be week 4 of the show. taken hold very quickly. We're really, really excited. Have a lot of people excited just about having a venue to talk about high school football.
Great
a lot
win
of people
last week.
passionate. Yeah, great win for Methuen last week.
Great interviews, well paced. It's a good show. It moves.
We're having fun. We're having fun with it, and I think the more we're trying to spread it out and get as many different voices from around the MVC on the air each week, whether it's coaches or players. Or last week we had Danny Ventura from the Boston Herald, which was awesome. Kind of gave us some perspective on the MVC and just how it fits into the bigger
Guys should have gone
picture.
to the A1 Diner in Haverhill. Methuen's playing Haverhill this week.
Yeah,
Feature that game.
yeah.
Yeah.
We maybe. It's a thought.
It's at home, correct?
It's in Methuen, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, it's Thursday. It's not too late. I can reach out.
Yeah.
If you're at the A1 Diner and listening, call me. No, but I mean that's the plan eventually. That's the we wanted to get it off the air. We wanted to get it off the ground. I mean, no, we don't want to get it off the air.
I agree with that strategy.
Let's
Get it up and running, and then we'll get fancy.
Get it up and running, then get fancy. And with that, we'll start. We've already started reaching out to some restaurants around the valley, that are supporters or big supporters of their football team, and we'll branch it out. I would love to do it from a restaurant or from just a key spot in the community, even if it's at at one of the stadiums. Do it from one of the stadiums one Saturday morning. So
Just go down the street to Al's, one of the sponsors.
Exactly. Hello. So
Hector can finally get a meal if we make it on time.
well, yeah, we could just basically extend our 9 o'clock conversation onto the air at 10. So
There you go.
there's a thought. I think Al's a little crowded on. That's the other thing. A lot of these spots are real crowded on Saturday mornings, so
Yeah.
we don't want to get in the way of
You
that.
guys are going to start being the college game day of high school football.
Dude, seriously, honestly,
Can I have a guest picker? See,
why not?
it's too bad you couldn't have high school football games on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Because then that would be really cool. Because Fridays are tough. Like, you can't get students out of school on Fridays,
Right.
obviously.
And we
that'd
talked
be pretty cool.
We talked about doing the show on Friday nights, Friday Night Lights, but it's
During
good
the
in
games,
progress,
you
but
wanna
it's
do
during the
games,
games,
yeah.
and so many people are at the games that it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
See, I'm gonna toss you an idea here because
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. And I'm pretty sure Drake gets pretty good this year, right?
Yeah.
It'd be nice if you could do one from the gym at the Methuen High School pep rally for the Thanksgiving Day game for Drake, because that's the day before. You can interview a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. You can maybe go to Drake it the next year. You
There's
could
a
alternate
thought.
years.
Yeah,
It's a thought. Just a
absolutely.
thought.
I
if
like
you
it.
want to really get the student body involved.
And we do. That's one of the things that we've talked about. We
When's the
wanna
rally on Wednesday? When is it?
So it is. I'm pretty sure it starts at 9 o'clock because we have a half day. I'm pretty sure it's like 9 to 11:15.
No, we can do that.
Yeah, it's 2 hours. So
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to do it beforehand, and because the kids.
Come on, Tim, pony up.
Yeah. Just a thought.
You can get that sponsored. They're going to be Methuen supporters who are going to want the rally for the Thanksgiving Day game. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
yeah.
And I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a whole event too. I mean, they have a turkey toss.
Get out.
Yeah,
And that
it's a
time's
good
available?
event.
9:15 on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk. For sure.
Yeah,
I've got 9 to 11 on Wednesday morning.
It's a good event. Methuen High School does it up good. Teachers, staff, students, administration, they all get involved and they all do a good job.
That's Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by DeVille and DeFusco Insurance. I think
if you're into MVC football, check it out. It's good.
yeah,
It's a good
if
show.
you're and listen, if you're a supporter of your school, we've gotten a lot of voices on the show so far. A lot of athletes, and we do want to do. I think one of the things that we were talking about doing was like an ice cream eating contest with the linemen ahead of the season.
Oh, boy.
From around the MVC.
a representative from each school.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. JG's wasn't ready to pony up for the linemen yet, though. So especially after what we saw on the comments last night.
All right, change it to punters.
The
Maybe they'll
linemen
pony up for
maybe
that.
there you go. The lineman at the Chinese buffet last night just tore it up last night apparently. So
No, that's not smart.
what else is going on with you right now? You got 4 minutes. What?
Got 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Lori Trahan.
Yeah.
And Lori Trahan and Lori Trahan and Lori Trahan. Yeah.
I got an email last night. You guys are doing a lot of fundraising.
Oh yeah. No, we're I mean, that's the thing right now. That was the only thing that really was unfortunate about the
recount.
Recount.
And the
Was
way
it
it's
just
laid out?
Yeah.
It took time away from the general election.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it happened because I think for the sake of the election, it was a good thing to have. But just it just set us as the winning campaign a week behind. So
now you need to talk to her because she was scheduled to come on.
I know.
The empty chair.
The empty chair.
And she was scheduled on here too, as well.
She was scheduled.
Oh,
on
I didn't know she was scheduled on the empty chair.
Yes, and
I didn't
apparently
know that.
that's in jeopardy right now.
When is that? When was that
With
scheduled?
Green,
to
I think
be?
it's a week from Tuesday.
Oh, they were talking about doing like a
Yep.
substance abuse discussion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's interesting.
So tell her to reconsider that.
He's got some sway.
Yeah,
I don't know
he
how
does.
much sway. I'm just organizing in this area. That's
Yes,
all.
absolutely.
But no, it's been, as someone who's really still a newcomer to politics. It's been a great summer. I mean,
You're a
it's
newcomer
just,
to everything, right?
yeah, it's true. I mean, from the perspective of being on the Trahan campaign, it's been learning so much, meeting so many great people. It's been a great summer, and as a candidate and as a person, I mean, I'm biased, but you can't do much better than Lori. So I think she'll be a great representative for us down in Washington if we're lucky enough to defeat the Republican. So I'm very much looking forward to these next. I think it's 5-6 weeks. It's coming up really really fast. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do once I have some time to relax after the election.
What will you do? Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. Obviously, I'm gonna. Obviously, I got school to worry about.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just gonna have so much free time on my hands. But no, it's been a blast.
We're not playing a fantasy this week, are we?
We are.
We're playing
We are.
each other?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
2-1
no.
versus 1-2.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
I checked in early this week and I looked at the scoreboard real quick. Oh,
Yeah.
You've been putting up some points.
Man, I've been putting up a lot of points for
Yeah.
someone who hasn't really had a great QB performance yet. My wide receivers, knock on wood, have come to play.
Are you publicizing this league, by the way? Because there are a lot of notables in this league. So
It
should be in Loop Weekly.
We're putting it in
Okay,
Loop Weekly
all right,
each week. We put the draft in the last edition, and then we'll put the update on the first 3 weeks here in this October 2nd edition. But
I don't know what I'm gonna do when Julian Endelman comes back.
Right?
I really don't have a spot for him.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just saying he's on the market, or someone's on the market if you want.
He's on the market.
What
Let's
could I
talk
use?
after this week.
I could use a running back.
I got running backs.
All right, I could use one.
I am praying for one more week of Ryan Fitz. Now, did the Bucks announce who they're
They
going with
haven't yet.
No, they haven't yet.
I'm praying for one more week of Fitzmagic. I don't see how they would turn away from him. Even with the three.
Tough right now.
Yeah, even with the 3 turnovers last week, he almost led them back. Still went over 400 yards. So
He's one of those guys, though. I shouldn't say he always, but he's had multiple times in his career where he's had those 4, 5, 6 weeks of just this guy. It's like it's not a joke, but he could be like the MVP, and then he
finds a way to come back to the middle.
Yeah, exactly. He's not a bad quarterback, but he's probably
He'll
not.
make a run, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's probably not someone who's going to lead you to a Super Bowl.
I don't
by
know.
Any chance,
I honestly don't know if he's ever had this many weapons, though.
That's true.
I mean,
Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, those are
OJ Howard
two
is
of the
just
best,
coming on week after week. So
they've always been a team that really should take that next step because they are talented. They got some talent.
Who's tonight? Rams and
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Rams and
I know the Rams.
Oh my goodness. I'm thinking because it's a good game too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Vikings.
Rams and
Vikings. That's a really good game.
That's a huge,
even though the
bounce back game needed from the Vikings.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw that game against Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were shocked.
Yeah.
A couple folks in town running survivor pools.
yeah.
I'm sure.
They took a fatal hit last week. So, all right. We are going to wrap it up for this week, believe it or not. I wasn't kidding, guys. I wasn't kidding. We are going to keep it to an hour this week. Those of you who have asked us to go for, multiple times during the week, maybe we'll talk about that instead of going 4 hours at once.
Hey, listen, but
You're here.
Get a sponsorship in and you know,
There you go.
this is a financial operation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. For this week, we will wrap it up. Again, Methuen Day, October 13th. Put it on your calendars, 10 to 2, down in the downtown square. For Lou Blassie, Ryan Hamilton, Eunice Zeigler, Tim Wood saying huge thank you. And catch us on demand all throughout the week on loopweekly.com. Catch the show on Loop Weekly Facebook. And catch us next week here, 11 a.m. Thursdays on Looped In Live, presented by Methuen Family Health Center.